Dr. G. Parsarthi, sir, Ven Murugan, professor, sir, and Monacha, sir, and dear delegates and faculties and invitees. We are at the concluding session of this 2 days National Conference on Reaching the Unreached through Science and Technology, including all aspects of sciences. We had a long and healthy and useful sessions for the last 2 days. In fact, the sessions were run beyond the scheduled time, and even though the plenary sessions and other sessions had some limited time duration, because of the deliberations and interactions of the audience, it went on for a longer time and very smoothly. In fact, in some of the halls, parallel sessions, the deliberations were there till 8 o'clock yesterday evening. And today also, up to 2 o'clock, the morning sessions have been going on, and in the afternoon also, unscheduled time. And it is a really useful national conference, and very novel and innovative and recent topics have been presented. We are in the concluding session, and our honorable, in this concluding session, we have the guests, Professor Lalit Mohan Monacha, Professor D. Vel Murugan, and Professor Gopalakrishna Parsarthi, along with our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Yesterday in the inauguration and today in the morning invited speaking session, our Vice Chancellor has been introduced to the audience. You all know the background, the scientific involvement of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, but may not be knowing the work style in the university, the encouragement we teachers and research scholars get in the university. The philosophy and theme of our Vice Chancellor is innovation and quality. Innovation in teaching makes the teacher committed and accountable, so that the graduates that we produce are quality graduates. And maybe, I don't know the delegates where you know or not, the graduates from Mangalore University has been well accepted all over for any positions. And over the years, university is producing good graduates, and recent years much more than that, because we have been provided sufficient infrastructure in the department and other facilities, along with support and encouragement for organizing academic programs like seminars, workshops, conferences, project works, etc. This is one line. In the another line, encouraging us to participate in the conferences and also write projects, and identifying some of the departments as departments with potential excellence. So these are some of the additional things which we have not seen earlier. And the philosophy what we saw from our Honorable Vice Chancellor is allowing us to work independently and contribute maximum to the growth of the university. Nowhere comes in our way of either teaching, research, or other activities. This university looks like an international university, maybe because of the vast experience that our Honorable Vice Chancellor has, traveling all over the world, visiting more than 70 countries, and involving research in various international research laboratories. Most of the speakers from ISCA and others are well known to our Vice Chancellor, sir, which shows and reads his interaction and involvement in the research and academic activities. So far, we have not seen in this campus for the last 35 years any Vice Chancellor is presenting a plenary paper session in the conference. So he became one among us by presenting a very useful and interesting topic in the morning. Sir, because of your encouragement and courage and support, we could achieve high H index to our university. More number of students are enrolled in this university, both in the undergraduate and postgraduate level. More number of research scholars are working now, maybe 3 times I can say. And more number of research papers also have been published from the faculty. So it is because of your support and encouragement. Thank you very much for all the support that you have given to us. Now on behalf of all the delegates here and on behalf of ISCA and Mangalore University, I extend a warm welcome to our beloved Vice Chancellor, sir. We have 3 distinguished guests. I had the opportunity to listen all of them. Dr. Velu Murugan, I heard yesterday. It is my pleasure to introduce Professor D. Velu Murugan to this audience because he has presented his talk in one of the parallel sessions in the MBA hall. Professor Velu Murugan is a professor UGC BSR faculty. He is a former HOD CS in crystallography and biophysics and former coordinator. His field of specialization are statistical applications in crystallography, direct methods for medium-sized molecule and macromolecule structure based drug design. He has been honored with many awards such as University Grants Commission Career Award in 1994, Tamil Nadu Scientist Award in 2007, and also cited in position 8 among the 23 most productive scientists from India Scopus. He has also done International Database Survey in 96-2006. He has done many collaborative projects such as DBT, Indo-Germany, DBT, Indo-European, Lübeck University, Germany, design of antivirals for dengue and chikungunya viruses, DBT, twinning projects with northeastern universities, Shillong, Tezpur and Mizoram. He was also a member of many professional bodies such as Life Member in India Crystallographic Association, Life Member in Indian Biophysical Society, Life Member in Indian Science Congress and so on, and a convener of many conferences at national as well as international level. On behalf of Mangalore University and ISCA, I cordially welcome to this valedictory program. A warm welcome you too, sir. Another distinguished guest, Professor Lalit Mohan Manocha, is Dr. Raja Ramanna DRDO Distinguished Fellow with the Government of India. Prior to this, he was a professor and head of the Department of Material Science and Vice Chancellor and Vice Chair, University Industry Interaction Cell, Sardar Patel University. He is a fellow, National Academy of Science, India, and World Academy of Ceramics. Professor Manocha is an expert in carbon ceramics, nanomaterials, and polymer, and so on. He is a former member of Executive Council, Sardar Patel University. He was a prestigious Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, Institute for Chemske Technique, JSPS Fellow, Tokyo Institute of Technology, Japan, Fellow of American Ceramic Society, UNIDO Consultant to Chungnam National University, South Korea. He is a co-author of Carbon Reinforcement and Carbon Composites. He has 22 national projects and 8 international projects sponsored by various organizations like CSIR, DST, TIT, Japan, and so on. He has received patents for processing of carbon ceramic composites, process for the manufacture of improved solid carbon fibers from polyacrylonitrile fibers, high performance carbon fibers from commercial textile grade PAN fibers. He has received many honors and awards for his contribution towards material science. In fact, yesterday I read, this morning I read 2 pages of his biodata. It is shortened into 1 para. Another distinguished guest, Dr. Gopalakrishna Rao Parthasarathy, whom you have already heard, a wonderful lecture he has presented in the afternoon. I don't want to give more time for introducing once again to him, but he has more than 200 research papers in his credit and 8 international patents to his credit. That speaks about his personality. He is the editorial member of several journals, including International Journal of Astronomy, Astrophysics, Journal of Earthquake Sciences and Engineering, Journal of Meteorology Society of India, Journal of Advanced Research in Remote Sensing and Geoscience. He is a life member of Astronomical Society of India and Astronomical Society of India. He is a member of Geological Society of America, BOS, ACSIR and CSIR. He is a council member of Indian Society of Geomatics and Telangana Academy of Sciences. He is the recipient of prestigious awards, to mention few: PRL Award 2003, National Mineral Award 2003, M.R. Srinivas Rao Award 2008, Medal from MRSI 2007, the Senior Gold Medal of Indian Geophysical Union 2009, and so on. On behalf of Mangalore University and ISCA, I cordially welcome you, sir. And we have the convener who has been struggling and working hard for the conduct of these conferences with the support of his colleagues. I welcome Mushtaq also for this valedictory program. I welcome all the delegates, faculty members, members of various committees, student friends, invitees, and media persons. Welcome you all to this valedictory function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We welcome you too for the program. May I now request our Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Bhairappa, to welcome Professor L.M. Manocha florally. I request Vice Chancellor Professor K. Bhairappa to welcome Dr. D. Venumurugan florally. Sir, to welcome Dr. G. Parthasarathy Now I would request Professor Ismail to welcome Professor K. Bhairappa Now I would request Dr. D. Venumurugan to welcome Dr. M.S. Mustaq florally. May I now request Professor Lalit Mohan Manocha to address the gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor and a very good friend of mine, Professor K. Bhairappa, Professor Venumurugan, Professor Parthasarathy, the convener of this conference, Dr. Mushtaq, Professor Ismail, and learned faculty members of the dais, dear participants. It has been a great pleasure for all of us to be here at Mangalore University, and the credit for this goes to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the academician, Professor Bhairappa. I know Professor Bhairappa because we had common roots from Tokyo Institute of Technology, where he was the visiting foreign professor, and I followed him. I heard a lot about him when I went to TIT, and then I had the opportunity to meet him personally. and I was highly impressed by his dedication to education and the upliftment of the academic fertility in the university system. Whether he was at Mysore University or when he came and joined at the Mangalore University. And I'm very glad to hear kind words about him. And I have been visiting this Mangalore University the third time that I have come, right from 2015. And I have been looking at the progress that has been made by this university under his leadership in all respects, whether it is the academic persuasion, the students' upliftment, new programs, and also his efforts to bring academicians from all over the world, from all over India, to this university to interact with the faculty as well as with the teachers. Because this is very important, and sometimes people, they ask as to what is the importance, what is the necessity of organizing such meetings, such conferences, etc. There's a lot of money is involved in that one, a lot of efforts are involved in that one, a lot of time is involved in that one. And what is the outcome that we get out of this one? So this has been evident from the 2 days that we have been here, because this every conference that is organized has got many faces. It's a many faceted efforts and achievements and say usefulness. The very first thing that I find is that it gives opportunity to the young people, to the young researchers or young students, whether they are doing MSc or PhD or postdoc or whatever it is, to listen to the world-known experts in their field. So that also gives them a kind of a training as to how to present your work, how to make effective presentation. That is one thing that was also evident from many presentations that were made during this conference, and one you had from the last speaker, Madam Raghavan, how confidently you present your work. That is one thing, is a training that a student gets when he attends a conference and then he presents his work. That is one thing which is what is the outcome of these conferences. And secondly, that they come in contact, interact with these people, which leaves a great mark on their mind to persuade research and take research as a career. I'm making it a very long speech. I hope you won't get bored by this, but I'm telling you my own experience. It was 1974 that a conference, the first conference on the composite material was organized in New Delhi. I was a young researcher at National Physical Laboratory. And at that time, it was the first conference because before that one, even the research in the polymers and the composites was not initiated in the country. That was to mark the initiation of this work. And I was first or second years PhD students, and we were 4 or 5 people who organized this conference, my guide and 2 more research fellows and all that. We had to work hard. And at that time, I met the eminent personalities like Dr. Vardarajan, who was the chairman of the IPCL and EIL, and also Dr. Chidambaram, and also many people from the defense. And talking to them, listening to them, made such a great mark on my mind that I decided that I will devote my life to defense research. That is what I have been pursuing for the last 50 years and so on. And I tell the student that once you make up your mind, you can achieve everything. There's nothing that you cannot achieve. And that has been the theme of the conference this time, reaching unreachable. And I was very much happy that yesterday, all those who were at the dais, they gave different version of this reaching unreachable. Professor Worma, he said, what is the meaning of reaching unreachable? So, a scientist would say reaching unreachable means that whatever has not been achieved, we can achieve that. Whatever is left in science, because science is a continuous process, discoveries, all these innovations is a continuous process. It means that nothing is unachievable, nothing is unreachable. We can reach from, say, macro to micro to nano to factor level, and ultimately we can reach the atom, and the day will come when we will reach the electron, and so on. Like a friend of mine, Professor Endo in Japan, they have the microscope where he can pick up the atoms, join them together, and make it, I told yesterday, the carbide, that is single layer carbon chain. So that is what is, we say, reaching the unreachable. The other person, he said, reaching the unreachable means that we have not only to take the fruits of the research, fruits of the outcome of the science and technology to the unreached, to the common man, but we have to take the roots of science and technology to the common man, to the unreached people, to the people in the villages, to the people, downtrodden people who have not got this opportunity to go to the schools, to go to the colleges, or to go to such institutions. We have to take the root of science and technology to these people and make them understand what can be done, what they can do using science and technology. So like that one, when we organize such conferences, we meet many people, we hear them, we know their ideas, and get the ideas from them. The other thing is that even if we like this conference, I don't know, I think we had more than 500 participants and so on, with 300 poster presentation by the young researcher or so. If out of this 500 or 1,000 young participants that we had, even if one takes up this theme with him at home, and even if one of the 1,000 becomes the future Abdul Kalam, we think that we have been lucky, and we have done justice to organizing these conferences. So this is what happens, that the people like Dr. Chidambaram or Dr. Banerjee, Dr. Kakodkar, or whatever you call the current person, Dr. Kalam, they have chosen science and they had devoted their life to science and technology after attending such conferences, such meetings. So that is another way that I look at it, that we see that our efforts have been fruitful and so on. So well, this is my way of looking at organizing the conference. I will not take much of time because you have been hearing say for last 2 days. I would at this juncture compliment and thank all the faculty members of this university. They have been all very hard-working, very sincere, and I would say very heartily they have been welcoming, meeting, listening to the people from outside Mangalore. At this junction, I would not only thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the organizing committee and the organizers, Dr. Mustaq. He phoned me many times, so I know how sincere he had been, but also all the faculty members, research scholars, students on this campus. They have done a great job, and I wish them an excellent academic career, a good record of this university, and all the best from my side. Thank you very much.
As we have missed out, I would request Dr. Mustaq to welcome Dr. Ismail florally. Now I would request Dr. Velu Murugan sir to speak few words.
So, good evening to all of you. So, before I begin my speech, I have to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor for his kind invitation, and also my friend Dr. Mustaq for inviting me to deliver a presentation. And for every beginning there is an end. So, we had a nice beginning yesterday, now we have a valid function today. So, I have enjoyed all the plenary lectures, invited presentations, then we have oral presentations. And during these 2 days, we have about 300 posters also presented. I had time to go through some of the posters also. So, in order to have some break over the lengthy discussions, so they had a beautiful cultural program last night for an hour, and I want to thank Madam Sarojini for that. I was surprised to see one figure doing the dance, no, mimicking Sarojini Madam. But usually Sarojini Madam used to smile, no. But unfortunately that dancer was very serious. So then I had a doubt whether it's Sarojini or some duplicate. This morning when she asked me, did you see my dancing? Then I confirmed. So thank you, Madam, and also for your team for spending the 1 hour. We enjoyed the 1 hour. And coming to the topic, no. Okay, even though I've been in the University of Madras for the past 32 years, only in the past 10 years, I'm just following the reaching the unreached concept, in the sense that I'm completely working with the northeastern herbalist to understand, so what is the phytoconstituents which cure the complicated diseases like cancer and other things. It's an amazing thing they are doing. They charge only 10 rupees, 20 rupees like that. One person is from Jowai, 150 kilometers from Shillong. Another person is from Nongstein, which is again muddy road, 150 kilometers in the other direction. But each other use only herbal products. And even though language was a barrier and they were very much scared that I may steal their plants and make my own business, I got a local person there, collaborator, and we convinced them. So finally, we have come out with 4 molecules, which will be useful for their things also, anti-cancer thing, we have proved cell and everything. So I am now satisfied, even though I had 500 regular international publications based on molecular structures. So this is the result which made me very happy, because now I have come out with some molecule which are proved to have anti-colorectal cancer activity, anti-breast cancer and anti-lung cancer also. So we have 4 molecules and we are doing some animal tests being after confirming the cell line studies. That's one thing. The second thing what I request you is, whenever you have time now you do something related to humankind. So the mistake I did, and one big professor also too, I don't want to name it, he said I wasted, from Indians of Science, a famous professor said, after retirement, I wasted some time, I should have done something for the human care. That way. So during your course of time, maybe you can go and popularize science to people, and this side is completely rich of your herbs, no. I don't find much output of this phytochemical coming from this region, so that you can do, so that type of thing you can do. And coming to the conference, it is a very, very interesting meeting. So I also convened 6 international conferences as a convener, and I found a good gathering of people, and posters are also of good quality. I enjoyed reading some posters also, and I was very much thrilled by two lectures. One is that my friend is sitting here, VIT person, about the nanoparticle use. Other is a zebrafish. So I am going to interact with those people because drug delivery is particularly important for us. So that gave me a chance to learn. We are learning there is no limit, no end, no. Only thing you should be interested and you should not have any ego, no. That I become master of everything. So only if that ego goes, no, then you go do plenty of things. Then as Professor Bhairappa used to tell me, in this present scenario, if one wants to do everything by himself, it is impossible. So only way is you have to collaborate. Whether it is Mangalore or Goa, if you know that somebody is there, on good terms, don't bother. Even he insults 10 times or 15 times. You go get the things done, publish together. That's my advice to the young people. Don't be stuck with your own facilities. You find something there, you go and try and have some good publication. I wish all the participants a good luck, and I also request under Vice Chancellor to have more meetings before his term ends next year. At least one international conference he has to, I think he is planning to conduct next January. So that will be a mega event. We expect about 400 people, 60 foreign participants and so on. So maybe he will be announcing that. And again, congratulate my friend, Dr. Mushak, and his team. Another thing is I cannot forget the help done by these volunteers. They keep on going round, everything. They check the speaker, they help the speaker, what he wants, are you satisfied, do you want coffee or something. Then the organization also they've been doing. So I thank you all for making this national conference a successful one. Thanking you once again.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Dr. G. Parthasarathi to address the gathering.
Professor Bhairappa, dignitaries on dais, off dais, good evening to everybody. As I presented in my talk, I'm extremely grateful to Professor Bhairappa. He invited me, and I am really grateful to the university and the organizer, particularly Dr. Mushtaq. I keep troubling him regularly, telephone calls, emails. He has done a remarkable job of arranging from transport, accommodation, food, everything. I congratulate the university, the organizing committee, all the staff members and students for the wonderful job. Coming to this conference, the title is fantastic, Reaching Unreached, and it's very timely. Today, if you see Times of India, the Delhi High Court directs the Delhi University people saying the admission to science group is declining. You must admit science people. Today in the Times of India it is there. Actually, Professor Bhairappa and team, they organized this, it's more successful than the Science Congress, because I keep attending 8 Science Congress, all the time invited talk. Usually the session, if I go, the speaker will be there, next speaker is there, chairman is there. Only 3 people in the audience. But here I see there are 40 people, 50 people, even if the parallel session there, 40, 50 people were there attending. That shows the academic spirit exists. And another unusual thing, I will not take much time, I take only 3-4 minutes. The science is really declining in India. If we arrange conference like this will motivate young people to come to science branch. Science has a tremendous opportunities, and that has to be exploited, and it should be propagated. DST had only one successful program, that is Inspire program, motivating young people coming to science. It is really successful. And the science conferences should be like this, it should be there. Coming to this conference, another analog I found is sometime back in Udaipur, I attended a meeting when Chandrayaan-1 started in India. So I was one of the invited speakers along with all NASA people. There I told my American friends, look at my president, Abdul Kalam. He gave a beautiful talk of 45 minutes on Chandrayaan-1 scientific talk. Will your American president can give? The same feeling I got when your vice chancellor gave a scientific talk. Rarely you see a vice chancellor of university comes and delivers a purely the academic talk. That is one of the highlights of this meeting, and that was relevant. Every speaker is chosen by meticulously. They have something to say about basic science and its application to unreached people, society, science for society. Indeed, it's a remarkable success. I wholeheartedly congratulate the entire Mangalore University, the beautiful team and beautiful city for hospitality. I am extremely grateful to you. I wish you all the best. Next time, whenever you invite me, I come on my own, absolutely no problem. I really enjoy the atmosphere and people and the academic culture here. At least I know two people who are involved in improving Karnataka science. One is my guru, super guru, Professor C.N.R. Rao. Maximum, he propagated science culture, academic culture, publication culture in Karnataka. To some extent, I would rather say Professor Bhairappa is C.N.R. Rao of Mangalore University. He also publishes, talks about H-index. There are many national institutes, they don't really worry about H-index. They accumulate equipments because money is getting over in March, they have to buy something. And there are many national labs, I know, they buy the equipment without even knowing the end purpose of the equipment. But in university, in teaching and nurturing academic culture is something rare. I wholeheartedly, from bottom of my heart, I congratulate you, sir. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor K. Bhairappa to address the presidential remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to the end of the 2 days national conference. A wonderful event at Mangalore University, and I could see more than 350 participants from different parts of the country, and also very senior academicians spending a lot of their time here interacting with the young researchers. And now we have on the stage Professor Lalit Mohan Manocha, a very senior academician, my esteemed friend, and also Professor D. Velmurugan, another very good friend of mine and a very senior academician and a very well-known crystallographer in the country. And we have with us the MUTA president, Professor Ismail, Mangalore University Teachers Association president. And also we have Parthasarathy, a very eminent, I don't know whether to call him again a very confusing geologist or an astrophysicist. I don't know what I should refer to. The same thing happens to me. People many a times have asked me whether I am from the chemistry background. Some people ask me whether I am from the physics background. And when I say I am from the geology background, nobody believes. And also within the chemistry, most of the people have asked me, oh, you are a solution chemist. So that is how, the specializations go these days. They are so much interconnected. And we have a very young, dynamic convener, Dr. B. Mustaq, who has also published just 2 months ago a paper in Nature. And that is how, we have off the dais our senior faculty members and also young faculty members and participants who have actively taken part in this 2 days deliberations. And the success of this goes beyond my expectation. And in fact, I was assisting Dr. Mustaq behind the scene because my goal as a leader of the university is to develop a second line of researchers also. We have very senior researchers in the university. Some are going to retire in the next 2 or 3 years. We had very good researcher. He retired last year. One T.N. Sridhar, I think, from Bioscience department. He had contributed a lot to the department and department's publications and all that, which has helped to get SAP program and FIST to the Department of Bioscience. So like that, in every department we have 1 or 2 performing professors, very senior ones, and unfortunately in India we have a different system. I have spent nearly 16 years abroad in different countries working. In all the developed countries, I would say, I have worked. Always there is a second front. A professor is given an associate professor and 2 or 3 assistant professors to work as a team, and the professor will slowly train the associate professor and hand over when he retires. The whole lab, will be looked after by the next generation of the people. The associate professor will take over and the work continues. Here we don't have such a culture. And I'm glad that Professor Manocha expressed his experience, what he encountered way back in 70s when he first attended an international conference on material science held at NPL. And I was still a student those days. Manocha is quite a senior person, although we are very close friends in research, in academic activities. And I had a similar experience, I would say. The type of atmosphere, the ambience I had during my student days, even at the time of BSc. From the college, I used to come to the PG department every day and meet the professors carrying out research in the laboratory in the late hours. And I used to talk to them and get some, latest papers and go to the library, also collect papers. In my BSc itself, I developed this attitude, this habit of visiting the library and the research labs in the PG departments. And so that is how I could break the record of the university in my BSc marks. And MSc also, a different atmosphere was created, and top scientists from the country, they used to come to the department and deliver lectures. It was such a feast for us, academic festival. We used to have at least every week, at least one lecture by a very eminent scholar, either within India or from abroad. So that is how we were nurtured. And then I left India after my master's. There I had an opportunity to work with the top academician, and he was known as the father of modern crystal chemistry, academician Bellow. He was a contemporary to Linus Pauling. All of you know, those who know crystallography a little bit, they will be knowing, or crystal chemistry, or bonding, chemical bonding, you will be knowing the name of Linus Pauling, who got twice Nobel Prize. And my professor was a very close collaborator of Linus Pauling, and I worked under him, a very old man, but the training I got was quite different. And he exposed me to work with a top chemist in the Soviet Union those days, Tananaev, academician, very senior. He was also the director of the Institute of General and Inorganic Chemistry. I published many papers with academician Tananaev. I learned a lot of chemistry from him. Then I worked with a Nobel laureate, Prokhorov, Michael Prokhorov. He was the director of the Institute of General and General Physics. He was a Nobel laureate in 1960 for the discovery of lasers. And I worked in his lab for my spectroscopic studies of the laser crystals which I grew. So that is how. And the first international conference I attended was in England. And I could meet all the top scientists whose books, whose papers I read and referred always, and I kept them in my dream also as my role models, and I could interact with them. So that is how. And another, the most important turning point was my interaction with Leo Isaki, 1975 Nobel laureate in physics. We spent 14 days in Italy together, and this old man taught me a lot of physics. And that is how. And we were dining together every day, and we used to walk and exchange signs. So this is how, this all happened in Ettore Majorana Research, International Center for Crystallography. I think you might be knowing Professor Vel Murugan in Erice, located in Sicily, a very small town, a village it's called, adopted by UNESCO. It has only 100 families living, 100 houses, that's all. A very historical place. So there I met this Leo Isaki. So that is how then things started changing in my life. Wherever I attended a conference, I interacted with the authoritative people. And later, when my turn came, I felt so happy when people started inviting me to deliver lectures, invited keynote and plenary talks in the international conferences. And also I have organized several international conferences and symposia abroad. Professor Dharma Prakash has witnessed, he has traveled with me many times. He has seen my connections, international network and connections. And the level of my lectures I deliver as plenary or invited talk. All this I could get only through the inspiration I derived from the interaction I had during the conferences I attended both abroad and within India. So that is why for youngsters this is one of the best occasions, not just carrying out research in the laboratory. It's a monotonous work, but you people should also go outside the lab and interact with other research scholars from different departments and go out as a team to different conferences. I have attended many conferences. Always I take with me my group and also my collaborators from other departments. I take them abroad. I get them some sort of financial support and motivate them to work. So this, this is the essence of organizing the conferences. This is not just, for Mustak to learn or for the university to get, some more feathers on its cap, but to create an atmosphere, to create an environment where the youngsters from different parts of the country come and share and interact their experience, interact with the top academicians of the country. Even if you spend a talk, 10 or 15 minutes, that is enough. You can, you will get motivated. That is why I always tell travel. Travel is the best, way of learning. And travel means travel for the academic meetings. And I never skip the meetings. Even at this age, if I attend, a conference, normally I sit in the front row. And the conferences which I organize, and every candidate, every speaker is asked questions by me. And it so happened in China once in Beijing, the organizer said, "Oh, I think this talk will not end without Professor Bhairappa asking questions." So I didn't ask questions to test the ability of the candidate, just to interact with the candidate so that the candidate, the speaker, gets, a kind of interactive experience. Otherwise, it is again a kind of monotonous. Most of the plenary talks without questions, that becomes very monotonous. So there should be a question and answer, kind of interactive sessions. And the dinner time, tea time, lunch time are very important. And I'm glad that all my three friends whom I know for several decades, they have spoken very high about the quality of this conference. And I also went through the abstracts and the speakers and their, calibers. Very high quality papers were presented and good number of speakers and delegates. And this is one of the best conferences I witnessed in recent years in India. So I have attended hundreds of conferences. I have delivered more than 120 invited keynote and plenary talks in the international conferences held abroad, not within India. Within India, if you take, I have more than 150 invited keynote and plenary talks within India. That's separate list. But what is most important, and this conference, as Dr. Parthasarathy mentioned, there were always participants and the attendance was very good. And that also inspires the speaker. Otherwise, the speaker will get demotivated. So in this respect, I congratulate Dr. Mustak and all his team and all the heads of the departments who have taken the responsibilities of different sections, and also the young professors of this university who have extended their cooperation to all the sectional presidents in making this conference a grand success. We are going to have in January, coming January 23rd to 23rd to 25th, a very big international conference here on biophysics and also on advanced materials. We are expecting around 150 international participants from different countries. I extend a warm welcome again for this January conference. I extend this invitation to all of you who are present here, and also on my behalf extend the invitation to all your friends and colleagues after going back to your places. And I thank you all, and I enjoyed being here both for the inaugural session and for the valedictory session. So with these few words, I would like to thank once again the organizers and his entire team and the whole entire faculty of Mangalore University. And the university, as some of our speakers mentioned, it is a very fast growing university in the country, and a research culture has been set up here. And some of the laboratories, even the student labs, you should go and see in the chemistry, physics department and see how beautiful they look, and the research, some of the research labs are excellent. So I request, I think Dr. Parthasarathy has not been to some of our laboratories. Kindly visit, even now after this, visit some of the research centers and see how beautiful and how well equipped they are. And we do receive these samples for standardization from Japan also, for the radiation, standardization. So that is how the university is doing very well. And compared to the University of Mysore, which has received huge grant, like more than 250 crores in 5 years, we didn't get that much money, but we are doing pretty well, I would say, much better than the University of Mysore at the moment. I hope the same culture would continue in the future also, even after I relinquish my office. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to distribute the certificates for the oral presenters. I would call upon Professor L.M. Monacha to distribute the certificates. I would call upon A. Jayashree to collect the certificate. Asma. Priya K. Ankita M.K. Thank you, sir. Now I would request Dr. D. Velumurugan to distribute the certificates. Dilip Kumar Shetty. Harsha S. Prashant Nayak. Thank you, sir. Now I would request Dr. G. Parthasarathi to distribute the certificates. Suresha Karvi. Madan Kumar S. Sarita Suvarna. Hemashri K. Manjunath Hegde. Preeta B.K. Shri Datta Hegde. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We would be glad to receive your opinion about the conference. I would request Manasa Raghavan, Associate Professor, Cambridge University, to come up on the dais to share the experience.
So I stand in front because I'm quite short, but I think I don't want to take too much of your time. All the chief guests have made a really excellent discussion about how fruitful and what a success this event was. Definitely I'll start by thanking the Vice Chancellor, the organizing committee head by Dr. Mushtaq, really the faculty members and the entire Mangalore University community for hosting me. I was born in India, but I left when I was quite young, so I've lived abroad all my life. But it's really when I come to India that I understand that you can go anywhere in the world, but the best hospitality you can only get back in India. So thank you so much to the staff and students for a wonderful event. And the next thing I want to say is really congratulations to every participant and the organizer of this conference. I think this is the first conference that I've been to internationally where I've had exposure beyond biological sciences, because every conference is slotted into one field or the other, and it's very rare that you come into contact with scholars and with eminent researchers from so many fields. And I think, just to add a little spin again to the title, Reaching the Unreached, to the students out there, and I think, again, some of the chief guests touched upon this already, that, you have to open up and shed the barriers that, you're a biologist, you only interact with biologists, you're a physicist, only talk to physicists. I think a forum like this is an excellent opportunity to be creative, to ask questions that break down barriers of, what sort of your field has dictated you to ask for so many years, and really find tools from other fields that you can then use to not just ask new questions in your field, but also readdress questions that were probably not possible to ask using the age-old tools in your particular field. And just as an example, my particular, the sort of tool that has made my life, which is ancient DNA. If you'd asked any biologist 20 years ago that, go dig up a grave somewhere in the world and get DNA out, they would have laughed at your face. And now 20 years later, we're standing with whole genomes and wonderful quality genomic data sets from, individuals or dead individuals that are 50,000 years old, and, these Neanderthal samples. So it's, people who think that it's crazy to ask questions now will probably bite their tongue a few years later because of forums like this. So thank you and congratulations. It's been wonderful, and I hope everyone's got something to take back after attending this conference. Thank you again.
Thank you, Manasa Raghavan. I request one more delegate to share their opinion about the conference.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Bairappa, Sir, and other distinguished scientists on the dais, fellow delegates, my dear students, this is an unique conference which is multidisciplinary. Attending this conference will give you new ideas, new lines of research. You can think of a better future. So in this way, it was very useful to me, although I've been in research field since 30 years, I've got many new ideas to work in different lines. In this regard, I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Bairappa Sir, who has been keen in organizing seminars almost every year in a department. So this is a very unique conference which has motivated me, and also I feel to many of our younger friends. And also I thank especially world-renowned scientists who have been very kind enough and give their experience that I have gathered over decades of research. So they have covered their entire research findings in an hour or so. So we have been very much enlightened from your talks. I thank Dr. Mushtaq for his painstaking job of organizing conference like this in a remote part of Mangalore, which is very difficult. And also I thank all his colleagues who make this, made this program successful. I thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. A leader is someone who creates an event. Team members essentially bring life to it. Now I would request Dr. M.S. Mushtaq, convener of today's event, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected Vice Chancellor Professor Bairappa and respected dignitaries of the dais and on the dais, resource persons, colleagues, research scholars, participants, and my dear students. I am very privileged to propose vote of thanks in this auspicious occasion of 2 days National Conference on Reaching the Unreached through Science and Technology, organized by Mangalore University, Faculty of Science and Technology in association with ISCA Bangalore chapter. First and most, I would like to record my heartfelt thanks to our beloved Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Bairappa, for having given me the opportunity to convene this conference, and for all his constant support, guidance, and encouragement. Thank you very much, sir. In fact, it is his dream organizing this event in our campus. I especially thank with a deep sense of gratitude to Professor Ishwar Bhatt, Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology, Mangalore University, for valuable support, advice, and encouragement. I thank wholeheartedly Professor Ramakrishna, co-convener and Professor Gangadhar, Secretary, and all the members of Executive Committee of Indian Science Congress Association for their enormous cooperation in this organization of this event from the day one. I extend my thanks to Professor Boja Pujari, Professor Ismail, Professor Patabi, Professor Y. Narayan, Professor B. Narayan, Professor Dr. Raju Chennawar, Dr. Monica Sadananda, Professor Sarojini, Professor K.S. Sripada, my chairman, for his advice, and Professor Bhaskar Shane, Professor Chandragala Shane for the Finance Committee, and Dr. Shyam Prasad and Narsimhaya, and all institutional coordinators who worked hard for the success of their conference. I also thank chairpersons for chairing all the sessions for the different departments for the smooth organization of the scientific sessions. On behalf of ISCA and Mangalore University, on my behalf, extend very heartily vote of thanks to all the speakers for sharing their innovative findings and encouraging words to our students community. Thank you very much for all these speakers who have come from the different part of the country to deliver their note and findings. Without funding, it is very difficult to conduct our program. I am very much grateful to the sponsors like different banks, SBI, Karnataka Bank, Vijaya Bank, Vijaya Bank, and other companies like Syngentas, Adilabs, Mangalore, our own university, Mangalore University, and BSR developers, Q Ventures, Atris, and monetary support for their for this conference to become reality. My special thanks to all owing to participants who made program meaningful through presentation of the research findings. Actual person behind the success of this conference who worked and day and night are my volunteers, including all the students who worked hard. I would like to take their name: Mr. Jit Chatterjee, Mr. Nagarjuna, Mr. Naveen, Mr. Divakar, Mr. Deepak, and all the students from the Applied Zoology, Department of Bioscience, Department of Chemistry. I thank all of them. They're all in bottom of my heart. Kindly forgive me if I have left to mention the names here due to the time constraint. I cannot include all the names, but you are always there in my heart. I would like to acknowledge my gratitude to Professor K.M. Lokesh, Registrar, Professor A.M. Khan, Registrar Evaluation, Dr. Dayananda Nayak, Finance Officer, Mangalore University, their team, and for the administrative support and timely help to make this program possible. I would like to express our sincere thanks to all the press media persons for giving wide coverage to the event. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Mr. Chandrasekhar, Executive Engineer, and their staff for sound system and security, particularly Mr. Alva and others who helped in arrangement and maintenance of the auditorium, seminar hall to run the program without hindrance. I especially thank the photographer Chandrasekhar for and the team for wonderful photography and audio recording. I also thanks Mr. Mahesh and his team for mic and sound system. And also thank Mr. Sarojini, Professor Sarojini and their students for the entertainment program yesterday. And Mr. Suraj Raj bioscience student wake-up band for the excellent program yesterday. I also thank our canteen for catering the services and BSR developers for sponsoring the excellent grand dinner yesterday. I also thank Mr. Raju Krishnan, Raju Krishnan, Department of Botany for accommodation and transport, Mr. Chandrakala Shane and Jit Chatterjee for registration and finance committee management, and Dr. Rajendran for the TADA maintenance, and all the coordinators of our program sessions, Professor Manjunatha Patabi, Professor Ismail, Professor Boja Pujari, Professor Narayan, Professor Manjunatha, and Professor Monica Sadananda for their work. Without that, our session would not have been happened. Finally, the big thanks to everyone who helped directly, indirectly making our conference a grand success. If any shortcoming, if you find during the program, kindly forgive me. Your valuable feedback is always welcome. I once again apologize if I felt I felt out any of the names here to mention, and thank everyone for the success of this conference. Thank you, and all. I wish you all the best for your next 20 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would call upon all the delegates to come upon the dais for a group photo session.